Alright, SS United States here, and we're live. We'll be reacting to two SS United States videos. So let's do it. There's no update on this channel what I'm gonna do. I've been focused on my main channel, but I'm gonna start focusing on my other channels. But before we do, alright. Alright, let's get on this.
You have probably seen this massive ship here docked at Pier 82 in Philadelphia. It's the SS United States, once known as the Queen of the Seas. The vessel's caretakers are sending out an SOS now as it faces the threat of eviction.
I remember when it came in.
Wow. You know, there have been an ongoing dispute out there between the SS United States Conservancy and Penn Warehousing about unjust docking fees.
Chief Investigative Reporter Joe Holden looked in on the work being
They're not even supposed to waste a win, but it did anyways.
done to save the historic ocean liner.
The SS United States sits tied and parked at South Philadelphia's Pier 82. The once grand ocean liner is simultaneously knotted in a legal mess. Its fate lies in the hands of a federal judge who could decide the ship must be booted due to hundreds of thousands of dollars in outstanding fees. Such a move based on timing could leave the Conservancy that owns the 990-foot boat in need of finding it a new home, possibly sinking it for good.
We're in a race against time, and so we're hopeful, but the clock is ticking.
Photographer Tom Gardner and I were invited aboard the
Also, I'll be doing another video on my main channel, so stay tuned for that.
boat. We met Susan Gibbs. Her grandfather designed the boat in the late 40s.
Yep.
The SS US was intended to quickly move trips in the event of war, but it wasn't needed and instead became a cruise liner.
Initially, it was the fastest way to go to Europe. It was the fastest ocean liner. There were no alternatives.
Most of the ship's interior compartments have been cleared out and a labyrinth of asbestos was removed. The vessel is longer than Titanic. Its maiden voyage was in 1952 and crisscrossed the Atlantic for 17 years, carrying presidents, dignitaries, and entertainers.
There was lots of whining and dining.
Actually, since I made it with SS United States, hold on. Alright, before we continue this video, I got some SS United States shorts. I'll be doing it on my main channel too, because I got 4 subscribers on here. But I know who watches and don't watch this, so I'll be leaving that up. So let's continue to the video.
Among the first-class passengers.
Conservancy board member Warren Jones at 7 was a passenger on the SS US, his mother snapping this photo in 1961 as the ship was untied by crew bound for Europe. He and others desperate to save the boat realize time is no longer on their side.
That is the urgency right now, is finding a temporary dock for this ship.
The ship has been in South Philadelphia since 1996. Its rental agreement with Penn Warehousing and Distribution started in 2011. The ship docked here for $850 a day. In 2021, rent doubled to $1,700. According to a complaint, the Conservancy has since failed to pay the higher rent, but a Conservancy attorney argued that higher rent was never negotiated with them and was raised unilaterally and improperly. They've argued the lower rent should have applied until the ship was removed. Penn Warehousing sued, and the matter ended up
Look at the funnel. That's bad.
before a federal judge in what was a 2-day trial last month. It's alleged the outstanding dockage fees are now in excess of $731,000. Board members with the Conservancy acknowledge the ship must move, and they say a plan is ready to roll.
What we hope will happen to this ship is that she will be towed into dry dock and resurrected as a gorgeous, mixed-use museum development, hotel, event space, and kind of be reborn as the American icon that she has been.
So what about the ship's condition? It clearly looks like it is in rough shape, but those with the Conservancy, they own this thing. They say that's not the case with the integrity. They say the hull itself was built to double thickness, and the ship's own specifications, like a warship.
Walter Cronkite loved this ship, and he once said, if this ship is lost, it's a crime against history.
Yep, it is a crime against history. It's the SS United States, and it should never affected the whole.
Let's not commit a crime against history. It's time to say that she sat idle long enough.
A ruling from federal court is expected soon. An attorney for Penn Warehousing declined to comment while they await the court's decision. If timing doesn't work out for the ship's relocation, it's possible what are known as contingencies 1 and 2 could be activated.
If this ship is evicted,
Contingencies 1 and 2 could be activated.
If this ship is evicted, it would have to be scrapped or reefed.
Meaning sunk to the ocean bottom along a reef system.
Nope.
There was simply no alternative,
Doesn't need to.
given the size of the ship.
Fingers are crossed this ship will set sail to a new lease on the water beyond this South Philadelphia pier. Joe Holden, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Oh, right. There's the first one, and let's...
Are you overwhelmed by your
I don't
payday
care.
loan debt? Have you taken out multiple loans and struggling to pay?
Among the cargo and carrier ships that call South Philadelphia home sits a piece of the past.
She was actually conceived of here in Philadelphia.
Built in the 1950s, today the SS United States is covered in rust. Paint peels around the words labeling America's flagship. But there are hints of history all around her. We saw for ourselves when we were invited to step aboard.
There was just such an exuberance, and the music, the orchestras, and the dancing, and so alive.
We joined members of the Conservancy working to literally keep the ship afloat, including Susan Gibbs, whose grandfather designed the SS United States.
Well, I've certainly spent a lot of time reading my grandmother's diaries.
She described the ship through her grandparents' eyes.
So this is where the orchestra would have been regaling the diners below.
Pointing out specific places where passengers gathered,
And this bar is original to the ship.
and reminding us of the importance of the moment post-World War II when the SS-US took her maiden voyage on the eve of July 4th, 1952.
This ship and this experience just really symbolized the nation's kind of triumphal moment on the world stage, and there was just such a sense of optimism.
We need to save the United States.
The much-anticipated trip across the Atlantic made her the world's fastest ocean liner, a title she still holds to this day. What she no longer has is a home.
We've never been at this kind of crossroads before, where literally the existence of the ship is threatened because if we do not have a port.
Warren Jones sailed on the ship when he was a child. He's now on the Conservancy board, fighting for the ship's survival.
We have been engaged in litigation. We've been sued for eviction of the ship and for back rent that we did not feel we owed at all.
Penn Warehousing, which owns Pier 82, doubled the rent for the port in 2021.
And there's a contract that says they can't do that.
Since then, the Conservancy continued only paying the original agreed-upon fees. While a federal judge just ruled that the Conservancy does not owe back pay for the increased rent, they did side with Penn Warehousing when it comes to eviction, giving the Conservancy until September 12th to set sail.
With no place to go, if this ship is evicted, it would have to be scrapped or reefed. There was simply no alternative.
The ship has been here since 1996. She has remained so strong, so resilient, so patient. We are trying to draw strength from her.
The ship has had the same view here in South Philadelphia for the past 28 years, but the hope is that soon it'll have a new view, both inside and out.
The plan calls for 1,000 key hotel, event spaces, entertainment venues, dining, retail, and of course a museum.
The privately funded plan, created in agreement with real estate development firm RXR, was based on Pier 76 in New York, but the Conservancy says it could work anywhere.
It's not at all a pipe dream. It is something that can absolutely happen. We need a spot.
They've appealed to the Department of Defense, cabinet secretaries, and President Biden, saying the ship's reinvention would bring thousands of jobs and tax revenue wherever it lands. For many, including Warren, this fight is about saving a national icon.
Let's not commit a crime against history, okay? Let's recognize this is America's flagship. It's about leadership.
It is America's flagship.
Excellence, innovation, timeless principles that apply to America itself as well as this great ship. It's time to save it. She's sat idle long enough.
And for Susan, it means keeping her grandfather's legacy alive.
I think he would be proud. I hope he would be proud.
In South Philadelphia, Brenna White, NBC 10 News.
All right. Before we continue, I'm going to see if it's mowing. If not, then let's read the video. Yeah, I don't see any of those. Yeah, this is United States refuse to die. I found another video.
This game, you're not ready for.
Welcome back. You have probably...
Alright.
Hi, welcome back. You have probably seen this massive ship driving. It's docked at Pier 82 here in Philly. It's the SS United States, once known as the Queen of the Seas. It's been docked there since 1996. The vessel's caretakers have sent out an SOS as it faces the threat of eviction. Now, there has been an ongoing dispute between the SS United States Conservancy and Penn Warehousing about unjust docking fees.
Yeah, and Chief Investigative Reporter Joe Holden here now in the studio with work that's being done to try to save this historic ocean liner, right, Joe?
Yeah, of course. And Natasha Siop, as we've mentioned, 95, the Walt Whitman. This ship is hard to miss along the riverfront there. Now, Penn Warehousing and Distribution, which operates the pier, said the leasing arrangement was only supposed to be temporary. It's been there since 1996. The fate of the ship is now up against a ticking clock after Penn Warehousing sued the SS United States Conservancy in federal court, seeking to recoup
their lawsuit. They're nothing but idiots.
Increased rental fees and to evict that ship from the port. We went aboard the boat yesterday for a tour. The ship's owners say the vessel is in good shape and rehabilitation and repairs would mostly be cosmetic in nature. A federal judge is expected to hand down an opinion in the coming weeks on that back rent and if the ship must leave. The ship was designed in the late 40s. Its maiden voyage happened in 1952. The SS-US traveled for 17 years back and forth to Europe as a luxury cruise liner. It's set and holds to this day the transatlantic speed record. 990 feet in length makes it longer than Titanic. Presidents,
It is
dignitaries, and
on the
entertainers were among the ship's thousands of passengers, but at this moment in time, if the ship is evicted, members of its conservancy say it has nowhere to go. Lease agreements show the ship docked here for $850 per day. In 2021, rent doubled to $1,700. According to the complaint, the Conservancy has since failed to pay the higher rent, but a Conservancy attorney argued the higher rent was never negotiated with them and was raised unilaterally and improperly. They've argued the lower rent
They raised it improperly.
should have applied until the ship was removed. Penn Warehousing sued, and the matter ended up before a federal judge. The trial was 2 days long, and it alleged outstanding dockage fees are now, get this guys, in excess of $731,000. There is a redevelopment plan, but as you're hearing, the ship needs a new location.
And we're just desperate for more people to appreciate that and to come to our aid. It is absolutely doable financially and logistically and practically, and it's not at all a pipe dream. It is something that can absolutely happen. We need a spot. The ship needs a home.
The ship has had multiple owners over the years, and it's come close to being scrapped in the past. Guys, coming up at 5, we will explain what would happen if a number of scenarios kick in if the timing doesn't match up and this federal court decides one way and then there's no home for this ship. Turbulent at seas, right at that pier. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, because they've got to figure out where else would it go.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not an easy place to reposition.
Exactly. Well
Oh,
said, and that's why it's been there since 1996.
Yeah.
It's a hard market for a ship that's 70-some years old.
It looks kind of creepy. Was it scary in there?
You know what? It was a really neat experience, only because you feel like you are walking back into history, even though in 1996, when it was pretty much mothballed there, you're still going back almost 40 years then. And so it was maintained as best they could, and now they're hoping for a new lease on this giant ship.
Yeah,
Joe, thank
story.
you so
Indeed,
much. You'll keep us up to date. We
I
appreciate
will,
it.
of course.
All right.
Alright. Well, that's the video. We reacted to 3. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If new to your channel, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. And new videos are coming out. See you.